And our team is out in the field. Zola, Sholwana, Nqobile Madlala and Lumka Bekindawo dotted across Ekurhuleni this morning. But we begin in Thembisa. This is where Zola Sholwana is. Zola, good morning. We did see images at your location a little bit earlier on this morning of some taxis operating. Talk to us about what's the latest on that score. But mostly this is a huge inconvenience to commuters who also don't have the option in some of these areas to even use a bus.
Well, yes, indeed, Iman. In fact, taxis that are operating are taxis that are going to your Mall of Africa, Sandton and Centurion. And those that are not operating at this moment are taxis that are going to Germiston, Edenvale. So I'm going to move out of shot so that you're able to see. So these queues, these people have been standing in these long queues since the early hours of the morning, stranded and just hoping that they will be able to get a taxi. So any taxi that goes towards that direction of Germiston or the areas that were mentioned in Ekurhuleni, people might have to, possibly go home or find other alternative means to get to their places of work. And really, according to what we're being told on the ground, Iman, we are told that this has been a frustration since yesterday, with some people unable to report to work. And of course, this is a continuation. Some might even miss today as well if nothing is really done. When we spoke to rank management, they did mention their reason for not providing taxis, saying that the announcement from SANTACO was, it came quite late. It was a short notice, hence you're seeing people still coming out of here in numbers, queuing and hoping to get the next taxi. So them not ferrying people to the affected areas is also trying to protect their commuters as well, because they don't know how ugly this could possibly turn out. Now, Iman, you and I earlier on had a conversation about how an incident, or rather a strike of this kind, led to fatalities in cities like Cape Town, the Western Cape province. So in other circumstances, these kind of strikes, they usually can get really bad, from this particular moment. But we are still monitoring at this present moment. There's no police visibility here. There aren't any threats that we know about, according to rank management. People are still stationed here. Some are even trying to communicate with their employers about their current situation. We saw some of them taking videos of what is actually happening, and this is to really ensure that they show proof. But one would assume that if they are watching news, that they would be well aware of what is happening. Most of the taxis that are operating here in Ivory are taxis that are under SANTACO, so hence they are adhering to that statement that was released, and of course hoping that they will be getting another communication possibly from their officials as to what's going to happen to from this point, because this is affecting people more than anything else. Commuters who have no other alternative means to get to work, they've been relying on this taxi industry to get them to their places of destination. And looking at how the situation is at this particular moment, it means that they will remain stranded until something is done by SANTACO and, of course, government officials. Back to you in studio.
All right, Zola Sholwana, thank you for that. We're also hoping to get online SANTACO's regional secretary, Zweli Mnisi, shortly, so we'll manage, hopefully, to get a little more clarity on what's to happen next. Thanks, Zola.
So let's move on then to Nqobile Madlala, because the taxi strike has affected municipal bus service in Ekurhuleni amid fears of violence. Nqobile, out of Germiston a little bit earlier, we had seen a few people looking to make alternative arrangements. What is the queue of commuters looking like at this stage, and how have a lot of people decided to make their way to work or perhaps back home?
Well, Arabile, a lot of people have now turned back. In fact, the two guests that we even spoke to have decided that they're giving up. They're not going to get to work. But they're not the only ones that are affected. So part of this rank, you've got the people that are commuting within the municipality and around the area of Germiston. Then you have long-distance taxis, which is probably someone who's leaving Gauteng going to the next province. Now, those people are also stranded within this taxi rank. And then on top of that, you've got people that are actually working in here. You'll remember that the taxi industry is part of the economy. So there are people that are actually having small business here that are now affected because some of those commuters are not getting to work and some of them have turned away. Now I'm going to start with my guest. He is going for a long distance taxi. Baba nje ake sikhulume ngiyazi ukuthi ubusasichazela ukuthi ulibhekise ekhaya. Awusichazela ukuthi kwenzakaleni ekseni ulibangise phi njengoba ulamanje.
Uyazi mama ngisuka mina ngisuke Orange Farm Frnacheni ne. Ayingibeli ngasemhleni yonke. Mangifika eJobek ngibuza eGermiston bathi eGermiston ayikho. Kanjani strike yabo. Bese ngitshela ukuthi maybe mhlambe le bangifela eGermiston ingaba khona no distance. Lokhu simile khona lapho. Masimile khona lapho ayikuze sincedwe yenye indlela ukuthi sifike lana yabo. Masifika lana ngithola long distance ayikho. Ngisho ngibona amalokhu ngene eGermiston ukuthi bangibheka nezikhwama. Anginakile mina bangibona rekeze sifika la ayimoto ayisasebenzi yabo manje into ebhlungu dad ukuthi ngempela lempilo lengisuka mina Orange Farm la eGoli ngiye ekhaya KZN Nquthu yabo manje njengami ngifika manje ngivuka ekuseni ngo4 so ngivuka ngo3 ngiphuma ngo4 ngiyaphi ngikhaya mabe ngifika la manje ngekho imoto ayiseke kuyobuyela emuva ayisekho imoto yokuthi ngidlule phambili ngihambe ekhaya kuzokwenzakala ngami kuthini nini kusuka manje mina ngenze njani Shuka be indlela yokuvota engiphilela yona eSouth Africa asiphilela lokho
inzima kakhulu baba bakulindele ekhaya
ekhaya nginendlela bayazi bongeza kakhulu kunehlelo kumele sihlele kumele ngilenze kusasa ngilindele kakhulu sisi sengisaba ukuthi ngingafuni ngiwatshela ukuthi kwenzakalani manje
asibonge baba ake sikhulume nawe wena baba njengomuntu osebenza la ku-affecta kanjani
sanibonani nonke South Africa ubafana kwavilakazi sokhulumako mina ngi-affecta wonke umuntu because ngiphila ngomuntu ngenza i-small business ngiyathengisa uvuka kwami ufana ukuthi ayikho ngivukele because abantu maba-stranded bangana transport akukho lula ukuthi bangeze kuzothenga so mina bengingaqela ukuthi kwi-industry black empowerment guys abantu abamnyama ebusiness yethu bubaba bematekisi inhlangano zonke ehlukahlukana kwazo top management our leaders eSouth Africa bengicela please ukuthi akulungiswe le nkinga ngoba abantu basenkingeni can't push us go to voters nina nisinivotele but at the same times ayikho niyenza for abantu kumanje abantu behla benyuka njengelwani abana transport akuna something batshelwe yona ukuthi bafowethu sasa ngesibe ne transport ensani plan ukuthi nithole enye transport abantu bayavuka bazohlala la uyazi lento iqala izolo bahlala abantu erenkini ngathi inkomo zidla amahlanga balela abantu bashiswe ilanga so guys please ngicela ukuthi nilungise ama problem wenu ema tax nane not say government.
So those are the commuters that you can see right in front of you, Arabile, all just stranded. The one commuter is also going home on a long distance taxi, and he's here basically with his luggage. He's got nowhere to go. He can't go back where he's coming from, and he can't go home in KZN, which is another province. But they're asking that people come together and stop what is taking place here.
Stranded and still in need of finding transportation. Nqobile, thank you so much for bringing us that story.
And Lumka, let's round this off with you. Last night already, commuters were left in limbo in Kempton Park. You were talking to people who slept over last night, arriving at the taxi rank and finding no taxis. What else have you been hearing?
What is currently happening here right now, we are here at the taxi rank. The commuters are stuck here, but there are those that are hoping that maybe there's going to be a taxi that will come and take them to their destinations. However, some of them were saying that they do not have money, they do not afford to pay for e-hailing, but they are waiting here hoping that maybe there's going to be a solution. And what we also say is that the taxi rank is empty. There's no hope that maybe there's going to be a taxi that will come here. But now let's bring in one of the commuters who has been here since the early hours of this morning. Thank you so much for speaking to us. Talk to us about your frustration as you've been here and you are getting late for work.
Since I've been here around 5 o'clock hoping that there will be a taxi, unfortunately there's no taxi. And most of us, we cannot afford e-hailing, which is way too expensive. So that's most of the frustration, is that we cannot afford e-hailing. And remember, the work rules, no work, no pay. So if you can't make it to work, then it's like that.
Do you think today you'll be able to get to work?
Currently, as the situation it is, I don't think today I will make it to work, because everyone can see there are no taxis that are available. And we're not sure even if those that have made it to work, after a knock of time, they will have taxis to return home.
Maybe what do you think can be done trying to come with a solution with the situation?
I think the taxi industry needs to formalize its own strategies, because you cannot just wake up in the morning and decide that no, the taxis, they don't take people to work, or they don't operate because of the grievances that they have. As the community, we didn't receive any formality of saying tomorrow or in coming 3 days there won't be any taxis. Yesterday around 4:30 knock of time, we started to hear, even we see on the news, that there will be no taxis from Thembisa, Kempton Park will be affected. So today, here we are, there are no taxis.
Thank you so much. That's one of the commuters here at Kempton Park taxi rank. And also what we have seen now is that there are police visibility here, and we are hoping that they are here to monitor the situation. But we will keep you updated with the views at home. For now, back to you in studio.